If someone tells you they want to murder you, do you believe them or pretend all is well? If someone tells you they will murder you and has already murdered some of your friends and family, will you then believe them? If someone is in a religious or political organization and tells you their religion or their politics demand for you to be murdered and they have already murdered your people, will you take the threat seriously? If they put in their charter that they exist to destroy the state in which you live and murder the people to whom you belong, will you ignore this? Before Israel became a state, the Mufti of Jerusalem aligned himself with Hitler. If Hitler had been victorious, the Jews in British-controlled Palestine would have been wiped out, along with the hundreds of thousands of Jews living across the rest of the Middle East and North Africa. Hitler made his hatred for Jews known and had almost all of the Jews of Europe exterminated in the Holocaust, over 6 million people. He used race as the basis for extermination, even though Jews are not a race. The enemies of Israel, of which there are many, including Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, the mullahs of Iran and Iranian regime, Houthis, Muslim Brotherhood, Qatar, and much more, base their hatred and effort to exterminate Jews on religion, with many believing that the final days would not come until the Muslims slaughter the Jews. Before Israel became a state in 1948, there were massacres of Jews all over the Middle East and North Africa. These Jews experienced persecution as a minority population. After Israel became a UN-recognized nation, hundreds of thousands of Jews were forced to flee to Israel from lands where they had lived for centuries, and in some cases and places for thousands of years, from all over the Middle East and North Africa. Israel is a small nation surrounded by many enemies sworn to its destruction and the genocide of its people. The war against Israel is about murdering Jews. It is not about the lies being spun to hide genocidal ambitions. It's not about resistance. It's not about occupation. It has nothing to do with the myth of apartheid. It's not about settlers, colonialists, or anything else except for one thing. They want to murder Jews, and Jews do not want to be murdered. There was no country of Palestine that the Jews took over. If the Arabs did not wage war against the newfound state of Israel in 1948, there would have been no Arab refugees, now called Palestinian. They did not succeed in exterminating the Jews in 1948 or in all of the other times they have tried. The more they wage war and terror, the more there will be occupation, not the other way around. Most of Israel's population are brown-skinned Jews from the Middle East and North Africa. They know that the countries from where they or their parents or grandparents fled, Yemen, Iraq, Libya, Egypt, Syria, Yemen, Iran, Algeria, and more, are places where are places, oh, and also Algeria, oh, I said that already, are places not places, and other places, these are not places where they can ever return unless they want to be murdered and persecuted. The narrative that they stole our land so we can murder them, which has been used by Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and others as a green light to murder, is far more than just being incorrected and distorted. No one has the right to murder. No matter how much people hate Jews, whether it is from Hamas, Hezbollah, fascists from the left or from the right, or anyone else, murder remains murder, the right of no one. Believing in the right to murder, no matter the reason, is diabolical.